This is it. Here we go. Episode 473. No Laugh Track Podcast here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Justin Severson, the host. I am here with Alingon Mitra. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times on this podcast.
Yeah,
for you, sir.
This is don't they do this in SNL when it's like when you hit like 5 times or something you get.
Congratulations, we're bringing out your jacket. Come on, guys. Everybody that's done 5.
All the other comics who have done it 5 times come out.
Yeah, that's right. That's
like
right.
me and Joe Zimmerman.
Yes, exactly. Yep, Joe Zimmerman's coming out. Mike Kaplan. All your buddies from New York are about to come out here and congratulate you. If congratulations are in order. No, of course they are. That means you're being booked at Acme, which is...
I think so, yeah. No, this is I mean, I say this every time, but it's one of the great prides that I get to perform comedy here.
I listened back to the last time we were here, which was August of last year, and you did say that last time, and you did it at the end, so it's good that you did that at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, because I don't want people will just shut off the moment they see me, so I just want that to get out there first, and now you can shut off. Yeah.
So I have seen that you've been working a ton, right? Am I
would
imagining
say
this?
no. I would say like this year's around springtime or so, things started picking up quite a bit. Yeah, it's funny because this goes up on YouTube, right?
Yes.
And I re-listened to it because I basically didn't use YouTube for anything really, like outside of just watching stuff. But I mean, like for my own stuff. Until a couple of months ago. And then once I started doing stuff on YouTube, I started like growing like the subscribers on it and things like that. But I also started being more aware of like, oh, I exist on this platform. So I want to know what else is out there, because if people are looking at my stuff, they're going to look at whatever else is out there.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I don't care what's up there on YouTube because I'm not there. It's sort of like, oh, what are people like, I don't know, in Yugoslavia talking about when it comes to me? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Yugoslavia exists anymore, but also because I don't I just don't live there, so I don't care, right?
Yeah.
But then once I started doing stuff on YouTube, I cared again about what's out there on that shows me. So I rewatched our episode. I was happy with it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Wow. Well, what if you weren't happy with it?
I would tell you to take it down. I would never return to this club, or I would make a big stink about it during this podcast. So everybody listening or watching this one would then go and watch that one and be like, he's right. All of that he said about this last episode, he's absolutely right about ripping into it.
So I tend to forget that, along the same lines, I guess, I tend to forget that this podcast, I mean, people might see it just randomly, like coming up on their feed sometime. Like they probably need to subscribe, but the other morning, my mother-in-law, she comes over daily to watch my youngest daughter. And she's like, oh, I watched one of your podcasts last night. I said, really? I go with, and I named it like the most recent episodes.
Yeah.
No, it was, he's skinny and tall. He has braces. Mike Lester. We figured out it was Mike Lester, which has not recently, but it just came up randomly it was suggested.
On the feed?
Episode was suggested to her
on
YouTube. And by the way, she gave me a quick review saying, boy, he's weird. It was a train wreck. I couldn't look away. And I'm like, what? And that was 2 days ago. And I'm like, train wreck? Did you mean something else?
Train wreck.
I don't. Anyway.
Man, now I got to go check out this episode.
Anyway, yeah. Mike Lester. I'm not sure which one, but it's when he has braces.
No, it is funny. This stuff, it just like percolates up people's feed. And like my mom watched this episode of us maybe 2 months ago. Yeah, she was like, oh, I watched the episode of and I was like, oh, okay. And then at the end of the episode, we do this thing where we talk about like Indian things.
Yes, the superstitions.
Yeah. And she was like going through them, and I was like, oh, okay, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's call her and talk.
Yeah, we should.
I want her opinion on those. Oh, that was so much fun. That part of the podcast, the whole thing was great, but I really enjoyed that part. Have you been paying attention to the how people are doing in Florida for the last couple of days? Do you have friends you've been checking up on like I have?
No, I haven't been. I saw basically like CNN headlines. That's about the extent of it. But I haven't done like, I know things are bad. That's about it. Should I be
I think
I
most
be doing
have
more?
survived. All I can speak for is my buddy Jose who lives down there.
Okay.
Power is still out as of this morning,
Jeez.
but everybody's okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
let's just go. We'll go with that. Everybody's okay.
Yeah.
I went for a walk with my wife and one of my daughters last night by the St. Croix River.
Mm-hmm.
The water's nice and calm, and we're talking about my buddy Jose dealing with this hurricane. And my wife goes, "Should we take a picture of the calm water and send it to him?" I was like, she goes, he's your best friend. I go, I know, but what if something, I don't believe in jinx.
Yeah.
But what if something bad happens? I can't have that be the last thing on his phone, me teasing
man,
him.
It's tough.
Of a hurricane.
Me, like the comic mind, I'm just like, oh, that you gotta send that.
Right?
Yeah, like it. The worst things are the funnier it is. Just like send something that is just normal.
Yeah.
You know. I would. Yeah, I would totally send that. I would say, yeah. Anything that I saw after that point that was like calm, I would take a picture of that and send it. Just like
everything.
just a tree. Send that. You know, just normal things.
Me stepping over a
Just
puddle.
like you turning on a switch, a light goes on, sending that. Things are normal here.
I think I got my plans for the rest of the night. I think I have my plans.
But I do, yeah. I mean, it would be. I do understand just like the complete fear of things then turning bad, or like things being actually really bad for them, and you just being like facetiously.
Yeah, I'm
sending
the
this.
asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tee-hee. I looked up. So one of the things that I like to do is I'll look up stories from people's hometowns. You are from
Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
There's a connection to with Worcester and the hurricane.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I
What?
just did one quick search.
Okay.
Just about an hour ago.
Yeah.
42 cats flown to Worcester. Say it again.
Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
42 cats flown to Worcester after being evacuated from Florida ahead of hurricane.
Huh. I don't know why they did the cats and not the people. But I guess it's a good thing. I'm all for it. I'm big for animals and things like that.
Sure.
So, and I guess Worcester could do with the cats. We used to have a ice hockey team, like a minor league ice hockey team called the Worcester Ice Cats.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So maybe we're trying to start that up again.
We need a real life mascot.
Need
Apparently.
some real life cats.
Wow. So I don't. Yeah. I didn't delve. I don't even want to know why or why they went with cats
Why
and
they
not
went with
people.
cats, yeah.
But
I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like those people aren't going to be relocated, right? Like you can relocate cats.
True.
Yeah.
And people like my buddy. They just said I'm staying and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's it. Do you pronounce it Ian or Ian? It's Hurricane Ian is what they're saying. What do you prefer, Ian or Ian?
The only Ian I know is Ian Eagle, who is a tennis commentator.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking
I
about?
do.
And to me, it's very tennis to say Ian.
He also does football, NFL
He does football as well,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I picture him in like like Dick Enberg used to wear like those blazers with the CBS logo on it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm picturing when I'm picturing an Ian.
An
Like if
Ian?
you're gonna call your name Ian, you need to have a blazer with a CBS Sports logo on it. That's the only way I'm gonna accept
A
it.
hurricane with
Otherwise,
a
you're
CBS
an
blazer
Ian.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, I too, like I said, I listened back to the last time we were here, and one of the things you were talking about then, and it's a thing now. You recorded a bunch of the stuff.
I did, yeah.
There's no physical CD.
Oh,
Is there? Is it available online?
No. So what I did was, and I talked about this in the
Yeah.
in the podcast, was I recorded the video and I recorded the audio. The audio got turned into tracks and submitted to Sirius.
Okay.
So they played it in full when it got released on Laugh USA,
Okay.
the Sirius station, and they have basically exclusive rights to play it right now. So if people want to listen to the actual tracks, they'll have to listen to it through Sirius, or I think Sirius and Pandora owns. Or Sirius owns Pandora, one of those things, so they can listen to it through Pandora as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But aside from that, the video clips I took, and then a lot of the video clips contain the material that I recorded in the album. So that I've been releasing and like dropping on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram as well. So people through that could have seen a big chunk of the album as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of it, was recorded here. Your TikTok,
Yeah.
is much bigger than it was last time you were here.
So TikTok was a little bit bigger. I kind of like started and stopped using TikTok, but my Instagram and my YouTube have definitely, I've like leaned in more on that. I should get back into TikTok. I think we talked about this, but I just treat it as such like a garbage fire.
Yeah.
Where I was
And
just
still,
like,
though.
it still is a garbage.
Okay.
I mean, I think everything is just trending into garbage fire because that's just like people like garbage fires, and that's like what the algorithm is recognizing, and so it'll just like continue to pump that out. But yeah, so I YouTube and Instagram for me felt a little bit cleaner, so I was like using that more, and that's where I've seen like probably the most growth. But TikTok is also there for me. Yeah.
Are you getting people to show up from little clips?
I feel like it. Yeah, because it's so interesting. I feel like that is the way people are learning about stand-ups now. Where before you could do a Letterman, or I mean back in the day a Carson, there were only 3 stations, so everybody would see it. Or even if they didn't, it was such a big deal that if you were like, I just did Carson, people would come out because they're like, oh my God, right? And now I feel like there's like so many channels that even these late night spots become YouTube clips, and that's where you see the most traction from them, rather than just the viewing of them in certain cases. So, and this way I get to like release things almost. I pretty much do it every day, and so I feel like I'm in people's radar more frequently than if it was just like one special or one clip that people see once and they're like, oh, that was great, we'll go see him, and then it's kind of gone. Whereas now I can just be like, every day here's a little something.
I mean, who would have seen? It's just crazy that this is what it's
become.
It's what it's become. It really is wild. It's just little outtakes, little clips.
Yeah.
Little clips.
Yeah. Which as a like my style is more, I guess, jokey anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been fortunate because I can pretty easily like chop up my stuff. Whereas I know like a lot of comics who are more maybe storytellers or kind of more like presentation guys, I think they're not as easily able to do that.
How about a lot of people use the crowd work in their clips, and you are really good at that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have mixed it up. When I first posted stuff online, it was almost exclusively material, because that's what I got here when I was doing the recording. I wasn't going into the crowd because I was trying to get that album, so I couldn't even do crowd work last time. But the more I've done it, in part because if you're going to release stuff daily, you don't want to burn material, but also in part because sometimes I feel like people, I don't know, the stuff that happens live is a cool thing for people to see, and then they're like, oh, I want to go see this person because this is what happens during the show.
Yeah.
But I try to balance that. I feel like the people who just post crowd work aren't giving what I want a stand-up to be giving, and so I try to give jokes as well, so people are like, all right, this guy writes and is able to do this.
Who are you thinking of in particular? Name names.
Yeah, let's just burn everybody.
I know who you're thinking of. I know. I agree. I'm kidding. How about some of the stuff from the show last night? I was here. Was fantastic. There's some really good crowd work stuff. Yeah. We had a white woman who we found out is a huge fan of Kanye West.
Loves Kanye. Out of nowhere. And it said that we should go back in history and look at his stuff. Like she was like, this is the one thing that we should be going back in history and looking at. Kanye's music.
You don't understand. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Well,
I mean, I don't actually disagree with what she was saying in terms of the music being great. It was just the surprise that she was the one who was like vocal about it, and then B, the thing of going back into history to look at it. I was like, all right.
Can you try to explain to the listeners? There was another thing last night where you were asking, I think it was a pretty much rhetorical question, and then someone had all of these housing facts in the Twin Cities.
Oh yeah, out of nowhere. I was talking about just like, I was trying to get a sense of like, oh, how affordable is Minneapolis and Minnesota, and one of the women in the crowd just rattled off like economic statistics about the cost of housing in Minneapolis versus California, and I at first I was like, I can't believe that this is happening, because like she it seemed like she came prepared for this question. Like I was like, please make sure when you come to see my show, you look up the data from the census about the pricing of housing in Minneapolis versus California. Otherwise, you won't be allowed to sit in the front.
It was the most friendly. I'm just trying to help you with some information.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like the people who generally in my crowds, the people who like are speaking, they're never really malicious. But they can be super nerdy. I think that's what you get. Like people who are just like policy nerds.
Policy nerds.
And it kind of makes it. I mean, it goes both ways. Where like if somebody's like a malicious heckler, then you can very easily rip into them, and you don't have to worry. But if they're nice, you can't really rip into them because you're like, oh, this person's just helping. Why would I be mean to them?
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. There was the one couple, well, I want to bring up one more here. They said they met on Hinge.
Yes.
That made me feel married and not young, which is what I am, because I don't know anything about Hinge. So I had to look that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I posted the clip of that actually today on my Instagram and YouTube.
Oh.
Because there was another woman who like spoke out while I was talking to that couple about how everybody's meeting online, right?
That's right.
But everybody. Oh, Hinge is. I guess maybe in New York City, it's also like a pretty popular way of people getting together.
So here's what I learned about it. I had to Google it. Hinge allows users to filter matches based on traits that if beliefs are important to users, such as religion or height.
Okay. Yeah.
Height?
Yeah. You can filter through a lot.
Other traits that may be important to users, such as body type or whether someone is introverted or extroverted, are not included. So body type isn't included, but height is?
Yeah, I think that is a somewhat of a double standard.
Isn't it? I guess pictures you can't tell, like, unless you have perspective. You can't, like, I thought you were 5'11", you're 5'2". That's,
Well, yeah, I mean, you would never... I guess what one is like socially acceptable. Like I think it's socially acceptable for people to be like, I want somebody who's 6 feet tall, but you can't out loud say like, oh, I want somebody who's super thin.
Sure.
You know? But I guess you're posting these pictures on your profile so everybody can figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's still it's still a little odd that is one's allowed and one isn't.
So I saw it was one of your social media feeds that there's what is the Indian dating
Shadi.com.
Yes.
Is a website. It's interesting when people in America use it because originally I think it existed mainly in India, but then a lot of I don't know, it was like the original matchmaking tool for Indians online. Shadi.com. Literally Shadi means like wedding or marriage. And
so is this something you've known about, like an app you've known about for a long time?
Yeah, so it wasn't even it's a
website?
I don't even know if they do an app version. That's how much it's more for like parents setting up profiles of their kids. Maybe there's an app version, but it's weird because these people are not the people who are creating the profiles. It's the parents. So, like, if you create your own profile and you message, and that happened in like, that case that I posted about, you could be messaging the parents. And it's a very different environment where you're like, hey, what's up? You want to hang? And they're like, oh, okay, but what is your background and your salary and your future plans? Like, it's much more of a different...
Do they play it off as being the person, then?
I don't think so. I think they are very clearly the parents. And they're also very clearly like, look, we're not here for anything. Forget about casual, but even like, it's not even going to be like a long-term relationship. It's going to be we're going to get married within a couple months relationship. We're going to talk on the phone. If everything is aligned in terms of our religion, our educational background, our family background.
How have you not ended up on this site? Or are you?
No. I'm pretty resistant to a lot of that stuff. And so
have your parents even brought this up, like, jokingly?
No, I think I've been so clear about what I'm gonna do. Like I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I get like very or like I push back a lot if anybody tries to like make me do something. Like one of my big pet peeves is if somebody tries to like either passive aggressively or aggressively boss me around. I just like shut down. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
What are you, my teenage daughter?
We should hang. But yeah, that's I just resist it so much that my parents I think know not to try that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Or maybe they have the profile and now I don't. I don't know. Sometimes that'll happen too, where the parents will just create the profile and the kid doesn't even know.
Do you want me to send the link to your profile so you can see it?
Yeah.
No, it's so it's a matrimony site, I guess is the best way to say it, right?
Yeah.
There are more than 1 million matrimony profiles from USA on Shadi, right?
Shadi, yeah.
Shadi. Most of these profiles belong to Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and many other religions. These profiles mostly are Punjabi, Hindi, I don't know this one.
Gujarati, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Urdu speaking and have professions such as fill in the blanks.
I mean, this is the Mount Rushmore. I'm going engineer, doctor, lawyer. I mean that really should be it.
Doctor, finance professional,
okay, sure.
research scholar,
okay,
therapist, etc.
Oh,
therapist now.
Therapist, that's a new one.
Curveball there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. More than 100,000 matrimonial profiles from USA have found their life partners.
Maybe it's a physical therapist. So it's like a sort of in the medical field.
Very funny. So yeah, I that's all very, very new to me. But so where is it now? I looked up another thing. It was about I looked up news in India, which you are not from, but your parents are from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And where did I have that? Let me find out where I saved that. Basically, where is it? Here we go. Nearly 2,000 years after the Kama Sutra.
Okay.
Familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
Yep. Nearly 2,000 years after the Kama Sutra first introduced its principles of sexuality and eroticism, an Indian startup has raised money to make the country's first locally designed and manufactured vibrator.
Oh. I don't know like what the policies are in India around that stuff. I think people buy them online, but they have to buy them as massagers. And
well, that's at Target now too. Here though,
right.
Kinda.
But it's like very like if you read like the Amazon comments about the massager, it's clearly they're like not talking about massaging. They're like every woman should get this massager. It's like all right, we're not really talking about massaging. Yeah,
that's funny. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, you have a joke in your act right now.
Yeah.
About your uncle.
Yes.
Talking about like how taboo it is to talk about sex.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's interesting because I've got that joke. I've also got a joke about how like it's different growing up in America, like the traditional Indian values versus like what is going on in India today.
Yes.
There's like a huge not a huge disparity, but there is like this disparity between what I think we grew up hearing India is and then what actually when we go to India, because it just modernized over the course of time and then had access to the internet and became, much more maybe I guess like westernized.
Yeah, I'll give you a few more facts here.
Yeah.
As India's only branded sex toy manufacturer, the project is already a challenge to conservative Indian ideas about gender, sex, and pleasure. Government censors try to block content deemed too risque. Making or distributing pornography is illegal, though watching it in private is not.
Oh. Huh.
And
so it's sort of like, I guess, but it's like what the way weed was in America for a while.
Yeah.
It's like decriminalized for personal use.
Except
but you can't be like selling it.
Yeah, I remember going to Vegas a couple years ago when they first legalized it, and that was the rule. It's like you can buy it, but you can't have it in your hotel room. You're not supposed to smoke it on the street. Yeah. Not in casinos. Like so, nowhere.
Yeah.
I need to find someone that lives there. I don't know. That's not going to work. Is India government censors try to block making it or distribute is illegal? Until recently, even the most torrid of Bollywood films were chased. The biggest stars like Salman Khan coyly refuse even to kiss on screen.
Yeah. So again, things are, I think, rapidly changing now. But you could watch like old Bollywood films, and the whole thing about it is like they get like very close, and then the scene cuts away, or they like look away. That's like the trope of Bollywood music scenes where they're like looking behind trees and things like that. Yeah,
That's funny. Was it a big deal in your house? Did you ever watch like the movie, like an American movie, where all of a sudden they went a little farther, and your mom and dad are like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup."
No, I mean the running joke in our house, or like I think in like probably every Indian household in America, when you're watching something that is like PG-13, and you're with your friends or something, it's going to be completely like normal and not risque at all for the entire like portion of the movie that you're watching. And then the moment your mom or your dad walks in, that's when the thing that was like PG-13 about it would happen. And they'd be like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, no, this was literally just one scene when you walked in.
Turn that filth off.
Yeah.
Send your friends home immediately.
Right. So that's like the running joke, but yeah, I think like we wouldn't. We didn't watch. I mean, we didn't watch like R-rated stuff with my folks until that's probably like maybe like late middle school. My brother was like in early high school. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, and my daughter like will play music that's like has full of swearing and everything, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
and I'm like,
also like
I got it.
Lyrics now. I mean, I had a joke about this. This was like when I first started, which was like 10 years ago, about how lyrics were so much more just like explicit. But now lyrics are even more so. So I can't imagine just like growing up and just like having music on, and then you're just like, oh, I do you know what the words are that are being spoken here, or are you just saying them? You know?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Where are we for time here? Oh, we got just a couple more minutes here. 48th season of SNL starts this weekend. Do you care about Saturday Night Live?
Not so much. I go through phases with. I think we talk about sketch comedy. I go through phases where I like watching, and I think like during elections and things like that, it becomes just such a big part of the talking around the election time. But for the most part, I'm not watching SNL anymore. Aside from like certain like sketches and stuff will just like percolate up on the YouTube feed.
Yep.
And then but other than that, I haven't been as like plugged into it. I love it when stand-ups do it because I get to see them do stand-up live. And
remember what a big deal that was when Dane Cook, it was like the first only stand-up to host.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they were claiming back then.
Oh.
That he didn't do any acting or something before that. It was like the first only stand-up.
It's like Carlin hosted. I feel like Carlin's
They maybe consider him more than just a stand-up or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I could be talking nonsense.
Okay.
So someone please call me out on that. That's fine.
Yeah, but it is interesting that I mean I feel like it is such a hard thing to do to stay fresh for as long as they stay fresh, and the ability to like be plugged into what is funny now with new crops of casts and things like that. I mean, I admire it very much. It's just never been, or not. It just isn't something that I get as I like stand up so much that's where like my head always goes to.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that, John Doerr, one of our favorites here at Acme, has a brand new special on YouTube.
Nice.
It just came out this week. People should watch that. Let's see. Is there anything else that you're working on that we should be mentioning, giving attention to?
I mean, the usual plugs of social media now, at Alingon Mitra, my YouTube. I will actually probably. So I've been posting basically like the shorts on YouTube, but the plan is to start posting like longer form content on it. Maybe it is just something as simple as like extended crowd work clips, or maybe it is like material that is like has a shorter shelf life, so might as well get it out there while it's still relevant. But stuff like that I think is definitely going to be part of the landscape. Yeah. And then probably a similar thing that John did at some point, release like something like a special.
It seems like that's where everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz's new thing that didn't go on Netflix, you can now watch on YouTube for free.
Oh, is it up on YouTube now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, it's the Wild West now.
It is.
It's so easy. Not so easy, but you can create so much more.
Do you one final thing, going through your social medias like TikTok and whatnot, you have all these great videos with the captions and everything posted.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is all of your different looks.
Yeah.
There's really there's short hair where it kind of curled up a little bit. There was all the bangs are on the front.
Right.
There's the long hair you have now.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like because I've
facial
got
hair, facial hair.
I've got all this like back catalog of video and things. I'm posting them in no like particular order necessarily, so it's all kind of like scattered. So people who are just being introduced to me will see me in one thing and be like, "Oh, this is what he looks like." And then the next clip they see, they're like, "Oh my God, did you just cut your hair?" And I'm like, "No, that was like a year ago or something like that." And then they start seeing different clips, and then they're like, "Oh, this guy just did terrible branding and never kept a certain look." Yeah.
That's what I was hoping you would say. Like, I just wanted to call you out for terrible branding. Come on. No. It works. However, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you know what is fun is like because I don't look. Some people are like, "Oh, I didn't realize they were the same person." Me with like the short hair and like the no facial hair versus like this look. So in a way, I can extend my brand and then just claim to be other comedians. Because I'm like, "Oh no, that really funny joke that was me." You know? Like,
and then if
he always looks so different. He was black that time.
And you could maybe even use a different name since you're working with two other Jameses this week.
Yes.
Maybe it's Alingon James Mitra.
Might as well.
Right.
Might as well extend it.
This has been fun, as always.
Always, man.
Let's do it again in a year.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And people come out and see Alingon while you can this weekend at Acme.
Please do. Yeah, always so much fun to be here. I said it in the beginning, and I'll say it at the end in case people fast-forwarded through the beginning.
Thank you.
All right.